Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is 24 hours post my last exosome infusion, which would be exosome infusion number 3. So I kind of feel like I can let my hair down finally and just kind of just talk a little bit more freely about this. So I guess I'll start with how I'm feeling right now. And once again, I just want to remind you guys that this is not, from my understanding and from what my doctor has told me, it's not something that's going to be like immediate. Um, it's something that's going to be a process of a few months. So whatever I'm reporting right now is just what I feel, you know, really soon after the infusions. There are some stem cell clinics and doctors that may tell you that exosomes are, they have an immediate effect and they work instantaneously and it's very short lived. I don't know. I really don't know because this is my first experience. I guess the best thing for me to do is just to report what I'm feeling now and then report again later. But it seems like there's just kind of like two different camps when it comes to exosomes, and one of them is, it's gonna make you feel great right away and it's not gonna last, and the other camp is it takes months to see um, any improvement. I've even seen like uh, from things that I've been researching or Googling on the internet, some people say that it takes like, you can still see improvement up to 12 months after the infusions. So I don't really know. And this is my own personal case. So obviously it's going to be probably different than other people. Right now, I am approximately 24 hours post my third exosome infusion. I did 3 in the last week. It was one every other day. So it was, I guess that would be like 6 days. So I did one, skip a day, did the second one, skip a day, did the third one, and then that's it. I feel pretty decent right now. Like my energy seems pretty good. My stomach seems pretty decent. Like I don't feel anything too incredibly significant. I did make some videos, just some like quick videos right after the infusion or a few hours right after, and I will upload those. I don't think I'm going to schedule those. I'm just going to upload them all at once and then just add them to the exosome playlist. That way, um, like any immediate side effects or how it felt right after. Um, and I will touch on that here as well. But as of right now, 24 hours post my third infusion, I seem to be feeling fine. I don't seem to have anything significant, just my usual kind of baseline. Um, I have, I did kind of have like an infection. I'm using like not internal antibiotics, like an external antibiotic, I guess you could say. And I know that that does make me a little bit more prone to headaches and stomach issues, even though it's not an internal antibiotic. So some of what I might be feeling might be from that. Um, but again, I think if I had anything significant, any significant side effects from this treatment, I could probably tell. Now, yesterday, I did report that I had the headache seemed almost immediate and it seemed like a little bit sharper in places, almost like I had kind of little shooting pains in my head. And that was like while I was driving back home. Um, and just kind of a general feeling of being out of it. I didn't feel like severe fatigue right after, but I did get fatigued a few hours later and I was dozing off. Granted, I was not on my oxygen. I do wear oxygen every day. I was not on my oxygen yesterday. I just decided to like not even bother with it because I didn't notice that it was helping me on the days that I did the exosomes. And it was just annoying to have it on because for whatever reason, it's almost like this weird, I want to say that it's almost like feeling like you have the flu in a way, but not very severe, like a very blunted, very mild flu. You feel tired, you feel kind of like just not in a good mood, I guess. And sometimes I did feel sort of like body aches, but I don't know if that was um, necessarily from the infusion or me just not being on my oxygen. You just feel weird, like what's that word? Malaise, like just very off. And that's kind of how I generally would feel after the exosomes. Headache for sure. I definitely think it gave me a little bit of a headache. The headache was not very intense. It did not last very long. And yesterday I feel like it was kind of off and on. But it's not like a migraine. Obviously, I think what I'm kind of catching on to is that it may worsen whatever symptoms you already have. Like if you are prone to migraines, I would think that maybe it could give you a migraine. Um, because I feel like in the last few weeks since I stopped my IVIG, I've been more prone to headaches, and that seems to be one of the primary side effects that this was giving me. So I think it just kind of like irritates whatever you've already got going. And then, of course, the tiredness did kick in. I got into bed, I dozed off a little bit, and then I got up and did feel a little bit better. So, to me, I would say for my personal case, headache and fatigue were the primary side effects. Now, at night, yesterday night, I did start to feel again that little weird headache, but this time accompanied with nausea. And I have noticed that in the past like year or so, especially when I started having histamine issues and sinus issues, um, I kind of had that recurrent for a little while. This was several months ago, where I would kind of have like a nighttime headache and then a little bit of nausea would kick in. And it was weird that that kind of kicked back up last night. Again, I'm using an antibiotic cream. It could have been that because that will also irritate whatever I've got going. So it could have been that, but I did have that weird um, kind of lingering nausea with a little bit of a headache. And so that was last night, and I wasn't too thrilled about it because it was like right before bed, and I knew I had to use that antibiotic cream again. And so I was just kind of like, but I ate food and I did feel better. Like I expected to feel a lot worse this morning because of just everything I've got going on. And I actually didn't feel too bad this morning. So I think it's safe to say at this point, I mean, hopefully I won't have any like side effects in a week from now. I think side effects usually happen like right away as you're having the infusion, like if you're going to have an allergic reaction or some kind of severe reaction. And during the infusion, I can't say I had anything too major. Right after the infusion was kind of when the headache would hit. And then a few hours later, fatigue would hit. But it was nothing um, that would put me, literally put me out to the point where I couldn't walk or do anything. Like I still, like yesterday, I brought in the trash cans, as soon as I got home, so I wasn't like, you're not incapacitated, at least in my case. But I do get the vibe that whatever you've got going, depending on your symptoms, I know there are um, people with Lyme disease, people with stiff person syndrome that have difficulty walking or that are bedridden. So I'm willing to bet that for those people, it might kind of irritate that a little bit, or it's not going to change that immediately. So in that case, I would definitely get somebody to drive you to your appointments, which unfortunately I didn't have for two of my appointments, just for the first one. Um, I don't know. I would still recommend that anyways, to have somebody drive you if it's possible, or arrange transportation so that you're not driving yourself, because you just don't really know what could happen. I unfortunately did not have a choice in the matter, so I kind of had to do it myself. But I would recommend having arranging transportation beforehand.